Welcome back to Trail Ambassador Training. This next video will talk a bit more in depth about the job of being a trail ambassador. The role of a trail ambassador is to create a safe and welcoming environment for everyone on trails all across Oregon, as well as building awareness about basic recreation practices that help to protect Oregon's special places. Low impact. Commonly known as leave no trace, low-impact recreation principles are essentially about lessening the impact of use on the special places we all love. We've found that the areas ambassadors can have the most impact are by talking to folks about the following 4 areas. Know before you go. An interaction with a visitor is an opportunity to help them understand how to lessen their impact on the place they're visiting. The best way to begin this conversation is to talk to them about the details of an adventure. Letting folks know the length of a hike or ride and the total elevation gain is the starting point of folks who might be new to an area to gauge their level of preparedness. A good tip is to never tell someone how much time it should take to hike or ride a certain trail, as everyone's ability and adventure style is different. Stick to telling them how far and how steep it is, and let them decide for themselves. From there, you can also talk to them about trail safety. After sharing the details about the hike, you can check in and see if they have the adventure essentials. No matter how long or short of an adventure people are taking on, they should always bring water, snacks, sun protection, layers to wear, rain gear, and a map. Even though these things are important, you also need to be careful about making trail users who might not know about these essentials feel ashamed or inadequately prepared. Not everyone has access to high-tech hiking gear, and many people might not know where to find hiking information. You can help them feel welcome by sharing where they can get water and snacks, sharing information about the trail so they can decide how far to go, or, if they're interested, you can offer alternative adventures that are better suited to their level of preparedness. Pack it in, pack it out. Because so many of Oregon's special places are a draw to a large number of visitors, sometimes facilities can become overwhelmed, including garbage cans. Additionally, some visitors don't understand that there are no garbage cans or collection services along the trail. You can encourage folks to pack out what they pack in by offering small trash bags to hikers as they begin their hike, if your organization provides them. If you don't have bags to hand out, you can still encourage folks to pitch in. By letting them know if garbage cans are full, they should be prepared to take their garbage home with them after their adventure. Other topics to remind people about are staying on the trail, leaving what you find, take only photos and leave only footprints. This includes things like wildflowers. Be considerate of wildlife and other visitors. Follow all posted signage. And always hike within the limits of your group so that everyone stays safe and has a good time. Knowing when to go and when to stay. For those on bike or horseback, the best practice to avoid eroding the trails is by not riding when they're wet. The more ambassadors can help educate people about the importance of these principles, the more every person visiting the trail can be a part of a positive experience. Tips for good conversations. Sometimes folks might be reluctant to change their habits. A good way to help them understand the importance of low-impact visitation is to focus on the protection of the natural resource instead of focusing on having to follow rules and regulations. Remember, your job is to talk with folks and share information to folks who are willing to listen. You're not there to enforce any regulations. Basic engagement techniques that you should practice include always being friendly, empathize with how the other person is feeling if they get frustrated, and don't be afraid to say, "I'm just a volunteer," or "I don't know." Here are some examples of some good conversations. There's a lot of poison oak alongside the trail, so it's a good idea to keep your dog on a leash, or else it might spread it to you when you pet them. When you pay for a recreation pass like the Northwest Forest Pass at a recreation site like this one, a portion of the cost of the pass goes directly back to managing national forest sites so they can stay open for us all to keep enjoying. Collecting data. Most ambassador programs will want you to keep track of certain data throughout the day. This could include things like feedback on trail conditions, how many people you talked to, what their experience was like, intensity of usage of the trail, and how much interest people showed in getting involved. Invasive species and boot brushes. Some areas are at high risk for becoming a new stronghold for invasive plant species. Look around your volunteer site and see if there's a boot brush provided. Encourage folks to use the boot brush both before and after their hike when you can. It's also a great chance to teach others about invasive species and how their seeds catch a ride on our boots, socks, pets, and even bike chains. Additional things to know before heading out. Even in a natural setting, there are still regulations that are in place to help protect and maintain the health and safety of both you as a visitor and the place. Before volunteering at a site, check in with your volunteer coordinator and ask, are parking permits required at your site? Are there any wilderness restrictions? Are there specific challenges at the site or with specific user groups? Every place is different, and you can help make someone's day better by helping them know where to pay for day use, where to find appropriate parking spots, and how to follow other park rules and regulations. While you aren't there to enforce any regulations, you do have the opportunity to make someone's day better by engaging with visitors about these topics, ultimately helping these protections be effective. Remember, you're just a volunteer sharing information and helping to promote a positive visitor experience. Your job is to give people the relevant information so they can make a decision after you walk away. Congratulations! You've just finished the Trail Ambassador training videos. You are now equipped with a basic set of tools and information to get out and make Oregon's trails a safe and welcoming place for everyone. Check in with your volunteer coordinator for any additional training they have for you. Being a trail ambassador is a fun and rewarding experience and makes a real difference for trails and people across the state.